It's good to welcome Graham Gouldman from 10cc back to noise11.com. Over all the years, we've told quite a bit of a story, Graham, and seen
Yeah,
you
we
in
have.
strange places, including wandering around with lions and tigers. Good to get us
That's
here,
right.
both in the proximity of the cameras, so we can see each other.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you back down in Australia because over the years when I've seen you performing down here, I think I walk out of every show exhausted going, that was a lot of hits.
Yeah, there are a lot of hits. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no need to apologise. But it's not just 10cc. I mean, you had an entire career before 10cc even started.
Yes, I was writing songs for other artists during the 60s. People like the Yardbirds, the Hollies, Hermits.
Yeah. I was, we've spoken about that in the past, but one thing that I was not aware of, because I believe your manager or ex-manager has just released a new book. He talked about For Your Love and how there was, I don't know whether it was a conversation or whether he shipped it to the Beatles or whatever, but was it true that was intended to be a Beatles song before it was a Yardbirds song?
He had suggested that it should go to the Beatles, and I reminded him that the Beatles were okay in the songwriters department. But what happened was, it was a strange thing because our publisher said, well, that ain't going to happen. But as it happens, the Yardbirds are supporting the Beatles at the Hammersmith Odeon in London for over a Christmas concerts. And I think that's what gave them the idea to give the song to the Yardbirds, or the publisher, and they loved it. They were looking at that time for a commercial song. They were basically like a rhythm and blues band, but they wanted some commercial success, and they looked to other songwriters to provide that. And I was very fortunate that they liked my song and they recorded it.
I'm just trying to think where had the Beatles said yes, just follow
that would have been
that would have been the Sgt. Pepper album, though. So I don't know what it would have been. Fit on the Sgt. Pepper.
That's too unbelievable to contemplate, I have to say.
Yeah. There's been recent music from you with Floating in Heaven. Tell me about that song.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Floating in Heaven was a song I wrote last year. After becoming somewhat enchanted with the James Webb Space Telescope, a wonderful thing that's at the moment sending back fantastic photographs, looking back in time, looking forward in time. And I started following it on the NASA website, became enchanted with it, wrote a song about it, and played it to Andrew at my record company. He said that the song is brilliant, but wouldn't it be great if you could get someone like Brian May to play on it? Because Brian's not only a brilliant guitarist, but he's also an astronomer and an astrophysicist. I sent it to Brian and he said, I love this song. And he plays guitar on it, does backing vocals in it. He was very involved in the production of it as well. So that started a really lovely relationship. It was wonderful working with him.
That pretty much makes up for not working with the Beatles, doesn't it?
I did work with a Beatle.
That is true. You did work with Ringo, didn't you?
I did. I was with Ringo Starr and the All-Star Band. I did 2 big tours with them, and it was absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
That's an interesting tour. Ringo's only brought that to Australia once, unfortunately not with you, but with, Colin Hay, our own Colin Hay was at that point.
Yeah, well, Colin Hay was in the band that I was in, as well as Steve Lukather, Greg Rowley, Greg Bissonnet. Yeah, it was a great, brilliant band.
And you get to do your own songs in there. So what were the songs that you chose to do in the Ringo band?
They wanted me to do there were 3 10cc songs: I'm Not in Love, Things We Do for Love, and Dreadlock Holiday. And I was very happy to do those. And then so every Colin and Luke and Greg Rowley did their 3 songs, and then so everybody plays on everybody else's song, and then of course we do Ringo songs and the Beatles songs that he sang as well.
Well, when you do your own shows, you get to do your own songs. Now,
That's right.
In the most recent show that I've seen a write-up for, you're opening with the second sitting of The Last Supper,
That's
which
right.
that's an unusual opener for somebody who has such a big catalogue of hits.
Well, it's a great song to open with. We used to open with the Wall Street Shuffle, but I thought we needed to actually many years ago we used to open with the second sitting. It's just such a full-on assault on the audience, and then it calms down. I just like the effect that it has. That's why I wanted to open with that.
And like at track 2, you're already into Art for Art's Sake, which is one of my favourite 10cc songs.
Yeah.
And those particular albums, right at the very start, were almost like concept albums, or I guess you would call them concept albums. Some of the songs are like mini suites.
Yeah.
That was that a reaction to what was happening in the UK music scene at the time? Because Townsend had done the rock operas with Tommy and Quadrophenia, and the Pink Floyd albums have come along, and there's 10cc with a body of work. These weren't singles albums then, were they? They were an album that you put on and you listen from start to finish.
Well, yes, that was what we hoped for, but they weren't conceived as concept albums. And also, I mean, one of the things with 10cc was we never followed any trends. We just wanted to do what we wanted to do. If they turned out to have a thread between the songs that made it a concept album, then if that was in the mind of the listener, then so be it. But they weren't actually ever meant to be concept albums. But maybe there was some sort of link between the songs that people may have heard, and if that was so, then fine, not a problem for me.
Yeah, some of the songs had absolute beauty to them. Songs like "I'm Mandy, Fly Me" and the sweeter "Feel the Benefit." You were even gobsmacked at what you were producing at that time when you listened back to the finished song.
That's an interesting question. I think when you're recording it, when you're writing it, first of all, you go, this is really great, a good song and worthy of us recording. And then you make the record, and obviously you're delighted and very happy with it before you're going to allow other people, the public, to listen to it. So, the whole process of writing and recording is a joy to do. And I think looking back, we can be very proud of of our output.
Those very, very early singles, I think, we might have skipped over Donna, or it might have been a minor hit in certain parts of the show, but then Rubber Bullets came along.
Rubber Bullets was the first big hit after Donna. Well, Donna was a hit in the UK. The second single disappeared, which was a shame because it was great, I thought. But Rubber Bullets was actually our first number one.
So when you just look at the music, at that vertical, this would have sounded like it was going to be a singles band, but that wasn't what it ended up being.
No, we didn't have a plan. We didn't say, well, we're an album band or a singles band. We just wrote songs and recorded them and put them together on an album, on our album. So whatever they were, that's just how it was. How other people perceived them was another matter.
It's incredible that you have managed to keep the branding of 10cc going for so long, because I guess when we go back to those early days, there were 4 individuals who were really contributing creatively to equal parts of the band at the start. When it started to fracture, how did the band stay glued?
It stayed glued because we were loving what we did. And I suppose quite importantly, we were having success with what we did. So success breeds success. And we were on a roll, we were on a roll with the first incarnation of the band, which was the original 4 of us. And then when Kevin Godley and Lol Cream left the band in '76, Eric Stewart and I carried on, and we had a lot of success as well. So that's what keeps you going.
Is there a relationship between you and the other members of the band still?
Kevin Godley is the only one I'm in regular contact with. We've done several projects together over the years, both recording and when we do our own tours. Kevin has made a video that opens our show and also appears with us on a video singing one of a song called "Somewhere in Hollywood." So he's on the video singing, and we're playing live, backing him.
Yeah,
and that's great. So yes, I'm involved with quite a few things with Kevin.
In these, I guess a lot of my older friends refer to the twilight years that we're all in. Would there ever be a reunion? Before it's too late?
I don't think so. I think too much water under the bridge. I think everybody's happy doing their own thing at the moment, and I've certainly wouldn't. I would have considered it sometime, a few years ago, but there's too much going on in my life, both with 10cc, with other projects that I do. I do another show called Heart Full of Songs, which is a kind of a semi-acoustic show that I do that features the songs from the whole of my career. That actually we're starting a 2-week tour next week. So there's too much going on in my life to do anything like that.
I'd only been working in radio a couple of years when your song Sunburn came along.
Oh, right, yeah.
What an absolute great song that was to play on the radio. Why haven't there been more songs as Graham Gouldman instead of 10cc over the years? Why haven't there been a solo career?
Well, that I do have a kind of a solo career. As I say, the Heart Full of Songs tour features that's me as a solo artist with other musicians, and I do put out solo albums. I think the business has changed so much. I'm happy that I can sell out smaller venues on my own, which is great, but 10cc obviously plays bigger venues because the songs are more well known. But I'm happy with the way things are.
Yeah. When we get down to Australia, could we expect to see the show that you've been performing currently in other parts of the world?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a fantastic sort of historic moment, going back to, it goes back to the early 70s.
Well, you'll
get 60s this time, are you?
I play, we play everything that you would want to hear. I hope that's the premise of it, really. I when I'm putting a set together, I think about I'm in the audience, and I go, well, I want to hear this, I want to hear that, So you're going to hear all the things that you would expect, and there are a couple of surprises as well.
It's been quite a consistent live band too over the years.
It has, yeah. There's been a few changes in the personnel, but the band as it is now, I would say, is the best it's ever been.
So how far are we going back with the other members? I think Rick Fenn was in the band.
Yeah, Rick Fenn joined the band in 1976. Paul Burgess came on the road with the original four of us when we first went on the road in 1973. So that, they're very, very dear friends, and great to be on the road with them.
So these people really know the DNA of 10cc then?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Well, someone like Rick, he's been playing 10cc music a lot longer than a lot of the original members.
Yeah, I mean, Rick is one of my oldest friends as well. He's wonderful, and be lovely to meet up with him again.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you back down here, Graham. It's an absolute thrill to go to a 10cc show. And
thank you.
A thrill that you're still performing this great music after all these years.
It's such a pleasure to do it. The songs have, stood the test of time, and people want to hear it. So as long as there's a demand for it, we'll keep doing it.
Excellent stuff. Well, we look forward to seeing you down here in 2023.
We're looking forward to it.